tournaments in the South American region as a whole is that there's much more variety, experimentation. We see a lot of characters and compositions that you wouldn't see in NA or EU, just by virtue of, the tournaments not being as high stakes. People play what they like, as opposed to what's demanded by the meta.
And this match is no exception. We have a Rook, a Raygon, Older, and I can't remember the offhand. And Varesh team, there we go, which is kind of Fortressy style, but not the typical Fortress style from months ago. And then Paloma, Bako, and Esmo, which, although slightly unusual, actually doesn't feel that surprising. We saw Bako and Paloma played quite a bit at PRL on Sunday. This is just a development on that, although I'm curious if there has been cross-pollination, like if Young Gods watched that tournament and thought, oh, hey, that's some neat ideas what you can do with Bako, what you can do with Paloma.
Yeah, no, Bako Paloma definitely seems like something we're going to see more of. It is a very traditional composition. You can use the Paloma with a technique that people will just refer to kind of derogatory as a heal botting, meaning that it's just the exclusive focus of the Paloma is healing up the Bako. And then you basically get a Bako with absurd amounts of HP, coupled with an Esmo for that damage that the original combo is missing. I think that's a very, very lethal character combo.
Not only that, if Paloma manages to get some space and get some HP advantage, they can just go ham. And an aggro Paloma is a scary Paloma.
And we've seen actually Carmelo, he's a pretty aggressive Paloma, all things considered, so I'm going to have to keep my eye on that. The one thing, and we've seen a bit of it already, that I'm worried for on this team is they're going to have a lot of trouble getting center control.
Oh, and not only that, already GBR has lost half their HP. I mean, it's working on okay with the iframes, at least avoiding the time travel, so that's a wasted ultimate on the part of Tana Disney. But Tana Disney has strong center control and an HP advantage, and they're going to maintain the HP advantage thanks to that orb.
Yeah, the big trouble that this roster is going to consistently have is just managing to find center control when they don't have characters aside from this Bako that can really withstand focus. Having said that, that's a very aggressive Bako and it's working out, and you can see the Ancestral Spirit there used by Carmelo to guarantee themselves a place to play from in the mid area. Now if they get this orb, it's going their way, and indeed it is. No HP left on Gus Shaman. He dives Carmelo though, and coupled with Ripples, they will get one. Ripples instantly loses his teammates immediately after, though, leaving in a 2v2 winnable for either side. There is, however, still a support over on Tana Disney.
And that ultimate not doing much for, well, okay, not doing much for GBR,
oh, that's
doing
good.
Loads for Tana Disney. Great counter ultimate with ultimate.
GBR got some damage, but the immediate double ulti stack right on him, that puts him so perilously low. He can do nothing to get center control, and without center control he can't live. He needs these bottom green shards coming up in just a few moments, and to do that he needs to sneak his way somehow past two very vigilant opponents.
Well, Rilps is trying, certainly, but not managing to find much, and there we go. Now they find it. GBR got in a little bit too close, and that is going to be round one.
So, Tana Disney, your predicted victors, do win out the first round.
Yep, as expected. But that was a tough fight. They didn't take it for free. They had to work on it. They did lose. They lost Gus Shaman right after they got rid of Camelo. So it wasn't like they were running especially hot, but their center control was doing them loads of favors. I mean, 4 orbs to 1, so that's an entire full bar of meter, or at least a 75 meter advantage over their opponents. And granted, Texas 1 time travel was not used as well as it could have been, but that also did force escapes, and it did force everyone into a corner. But now aggression seems to be the word of the day to some extent for Young Gods, or at least that's what they're trying to do.
They've just
not be wanting to go for it.
They've just been cowed completely back into the corner. You said aggression, and they certainly seem to think it was a good idea, but they haven't found it yet. GBR knows he can't win a duel versus Gus Shaman, so he's just trying to contest the orb and provide space for maybe the Esmo to come online, but look at the HP across the board. They can't do that.
Not only that, Gus Shaman's going to have a much easier time going forward like that. I mean, they got the right to increase retribution distance, and that is a huge right for a Raygon. That pretty much brings them online as far as getting into battle goes.
Suyang and Carmelo, their only way back into this round is maybe complete center control. All the orbs, all the shards. Maybe Su Yang can sneak around to do it if this Ancestral Spirit finds value. Never mind. It's all over. Carmelo tagged up as well by the snare inside of the Tiger Slash. Will spend other side and be left all alone. In a 1v3, they are one of the more impressive DPS Palomas, but that doesn't mean much in a 1v3.
No. 1v3 where your opponents are very nearly full HP, like very near 100% HP. If Tex gets those green orbs at the bottom, then it's going to be 100% HP. I don't think they will, but that we're that close. So that was absolutely dominating Tana Disney there.
All stand as one.
Dominating is the kind way to put it. There was never really a moment there where Young Gods looked like they had a foot in the door, as it were. GBR, he went in early, he went in aggro, and he got punished hard because the second he went aggressive, the focus shifted, forced Carmelo and Su Yang to play passively. That meant there were no heals for GBR when he went in, and then all of a sudden he's in the middle of 3 damage-focused characters, and all of them would like a little piece of them.
Yeah, and he has no meter to build up for shields either.
Yeah.
Nor does he have meter for War Stomp.
Maybe if he gets that orb, he can roll something out with the end caps from War Stomp, or maybe the shielding from War Shout, but both of those require EX, and if you're not managing to land damage and you're not getting center orbs, well, you're going to be drastically short on EX meter.
Well, seeing now going forward, and at this point GBR playing it a bit more passively again. We see some slight cowling from Young Gods. I'm just curious if they're going to go in for the orb, and no, Bulwark's been spent, and the orb still's got another 8 seconds before it's done, so Bulwark should be up when the orb is, because that's GBR's approach tool at this point. And there it is! The orb is up, and it's going to go over Tana Disney. No way around it.
Gus Shaman does get punished for this early aggression, but he finds a ton of life leech with his slicing winds there. 2 targets on each of them. This gives him so much EX charge. And he gets the in-cap as well. There'll be a heavy punish on GBR with the Dragon Palm right back into the mouth of damage. Great play.
That was wonderful positioning play. I can't remember the last time I've seen a Raygun actually use Dragon Palm in that way. Usually it's used to push into a wall to get the bonus damage, but pushing it into your team to coordinate the fight, that was brilliant.
Just using the Dragon Palm there exclusively to knock your opponent out of position. It works so well, and Gus Shaman finds more with it. The double damage off the wall provides him a pretty instant kill. Well, Su Yang, they have their work cut out for them.
I mean, it's a 2v3, and the HP values aren't as far off as they were last time, but Carmelo forced back, Su Yang already in the corner. Gus Shaman not getting this for free. But Gus Shaman is very nearly full HP. Pretty much the entirety of Tana Disney has all of their recovery HP available, so nothing is going to be hurting them too much. Same can't be said for Young Gods right now.
Su Yang will have silence, so he can build some space, but look at the separation we're seeing again. That's been a consistent problem with Carmelo. He tries to play a very aggressive Paloma, and that's fun to see when it works. But when his team already isn't finding damage and they're already losing their HP in impressive bursts, he needs to then be a healer. He needs to, like we said at the beginning, heal bot that Barco so that he can take more hits, he can take more focus.
I mean, you say that, but they are getting the most protection score. They're getting loads and loads of Soul Bolt and other side. It's not like they're being completely selfish and being completely aggressive.
I mean, it's about timing. What we saw there a lot of times was GBR would go in, take an engagement, lose a lot of HP, and fall back, and then Carmelo would heal him. The problem is at that point, permanent HP damage has already been done.
Exactly. So at this point, I'm really not sure what to expect. We're seeing everything back into the start point. I mean, this is clear intimidation. Tana Disney has already won the mind games.
Well, it just kind of shows that Young Guns don't know how to play this. They don't know how they should go about playing aggressive, who they should be targeting. They do get the first orb. That's a nice turnaround, and it's a nice combo as well onto Tex, which I think is a good decision. Gus Shaman knocked down fairly low as well. However, there's an immediate shift, and the Paloma is now very low on HP.
Oh, that's fine though. Carmelo can be low on HP. They're in the back. Nothing's really going to come after them too much as long as GBR can maintain that tanking presence in the front. Unfortunately, the entire team does have fairly low HP, so even then, it's still going to be tricky.
I like that. The second tick of the flow ulti there from Carmelo found value. Now they're in trouble. It will be a very nice aggressive play with the Soul Rip to create a panic onto multiple players so they can heal up GBR. This is still possible. They need this orb though, and they're going to be held back. Great Chrono Flux placement and the in cap as well. There's no way for GBR to find the value he needs. I don't think they have a shot in this round, failing something spectacular.
Well, GBR using the meter on that heroic shout, which unfortunately doesn't find value either, because really all he can really use that for is staying alive in clutch situations, and that was the clutch situation they didn't have the meter to stay alive for.
Panic from Carmelo, maybe that's worth something with a soul transfer. Su Yang finds big value ulti here. I don't know, I'm just praying. Doesn't find any of it though. Time travel will negate the last bit of damage that could have done. And it's map and match point for Tana Disney.
I mean, look at the damage numbers between them. Like, Rilps has dealt more damage than everyone but Carmelo combined.
He's a Varesh being left alone to do Varesh things.
And that's the scariest Varesh.
Yeah. If you have the Varesh just sitting behind the fighting, completely uncontested, 700 damage is a small number.
That's true, actually. Tex was getting quite a bit of that, as was Gus Shaman. But yeah, Rilps was taking nothing. Gus Shaman has been the main focus throughout most of this, and bear in mind, Rygon has self-healed.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's made him such a powerful frontline presence. We've seen a lot less of him in the NA and EU regions recently, but that's why he's a textbook frontliner, because he can just take these fights and sustain them for so long. Similar to Barco in theory. Gus, though, is taking some damage in that fight, and GBR is finding some damage as well, but he's just been chunked. GBR losing a massive amount and knocked out of position by an excellent use of that Dragon Palm. Parry recast won't come through.
But Rilps...
So it's Ripples, maybe receiving a bit of focus.
Receiving a lot of focus. Consistently this entire match has been jumping between Rilps and Gus Shaman. Pretty much Rilps whenever the opportunity arises, but there goes GBR. This might be vaguely, maybe, outside chance possible. Carmelo so close to death, and
gone.
Will be going down in a second.
Oh, shield, maybe. No, stun comes through. It's over.
They had the right idea, though. They went for Rilps.
No,
that was,
I think
that was smart.
They made the right adjustments. Right, it was just too little too late. Maybe if they realised that where the problems lay round 1, round 2, and they make those adjustments, they have the time to play with them, maybe turn something around. But as it was, Young Gods, it felt like they made their critical realisation a little bit too late.
Unfortunate for them, so they are out for this week. And also, Gorillas Alados also advances, as does Argentina Rejects, who will be fighting Tana Disney next.
Gorillas Alados in the upper half of the bracket. They're going to face off against the winner of Lua Presa Armana and Concevito Show. Lua Presa Armana is actually true now.
No, Concevito Show.
No, Lula Presa Armana is actually true. Because
he was charged?
President in question was charged, and I believe he is going to jail. Don't follow the news that much, but I think that's happening. Regardless, they did unfortunately lose out. Concevito Show will be advancing over their Prophet team name, and it will be Gorillas Adonis versus Concevito Show in the upper bracket semi-final. In the lower half of the bracket, it will be Tana Disney versus Argentina Rejects. The winners about those, of course, go on to the finals to qualify for the show match later on this week, where they can stand as kings of the arena. We're going to be right back with one of those two semi-finals in just a few moments. Don't go far, because we have a whole bunch more South America Battle Royale coming your way. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are into our first semi-final of the night. It will be Concevito Show versus Gorillas Dados. And I think both these teams have shown in the past that they are more than competitors.
Yeah, Constantino's show has been going through a bit of a change recently. They were Constantino Plus, and as I recall, Agares was not on the team. Famine and Tutichis, however, were. Now Agares is on, and I'm curious to see how that slots in. On the other hand, Gorillas Alados, they've had pretty much the same composition forever. Or at least the same team structure forever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also very strong. I think they won last week.
These two teams, I think, without a shadow of a doubt, could both make the final tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
That's definitely true.
Are players I easily recognize as being great players for their roles. Both these teams have compositions that are entirely viable in most regions. This is going to be a serious match. I can't call who's going to win. It should be very fun.
Well, certainly, Gorillas Alados is using a very conventional for them composition. I mean, they've been running this for a while. Sirius, Ragon, Iva. It's a slight variation on the legendary composition with Ragon in place of Shifu and Iva in place of Taya. But it has worked for them quite a bit in the past. On the other hand, Famine Digi's Agres, that's just different. I mean, it's sort of a variation on Project Horizon, where instead of Older, you have Pestilence, and instead of Ashka, you have Esmo.
I quite like it. It's a stun-focused comp. You can roll some CC, but more to the point, the burst damage, especially with Pestilence, that this comp can do, is terrifying.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Throw in Bloodsucker on top of the Chaos Grip, on top of Camouflage Stun.
Oh my god.
And that we're seeing already with Lux.
Just melting. They're trying to dive Feyman, but they've had no success so far. Lux barely staying alive here, and Agares seems to be hot on the case. Tudichis will be the first to dive in. He might have overextended here as the ultimate comes through. Nice Astral Beam, barely silenced out though, so the stun will come through. No HP now on Lux. The machine gun scares everyone back, so yet again Lux will live another day. There's a nice CC chain onto Agares too. Just keeping him at range. I quite like that.
Good discipline on Agares, though, not to use any attacks while the Taser Stun was on them. Or Taser Spell Block, rather. But that still is a massive advantage. It looks like we're going to see Constantino take a kill right now in the next engagement, because Gorillas Alados has no HP on anyone.
The same can be said, though, for Constantino. This has been really well played by Gorillas. They managed to kind of force this back possible in their favor. The first kill will come through. The Esmo ulti doesn't get much. Venom Wind will not check through. The counter's popped on Zibias, but the Scarabs come through and guarantee the kill regardless. And it's going to be a wildly flailing machine gun. Not getting much as perhaps Megatron accepts defeat. Like I said, Gorillas, it really felt like they were out of that, but they turned it around.
I was honestly very surprised there, because I was actually kind of expecting Gorillas Alados to have a very strong opening and just take this with a slight advantage. I mean, like I said, both of them are pretty even, but I feel like Gorillas Alados has the advantage. So far, though, Constantino is at least taking the advantage in terms of matches. We'll see if that continues. I will expect that Gorillas Alados will play it a little safer. Only go for the engagements when they can really make sure they can take them, because the way that they started out, although they're starting out again like that, maybe they figured out something mechanical, or maybe they haven't figured out what they need to do yet. Although, they have gotten the splits.
The focus is Payman. That's what they tried last round. Didn't work then. This time, though, it will work. They find the first kill. The question is, how much damage did they take in that engagement? Is it recoverable? Because Simas is very low. He'd be my pick to go down, and oh no! He's crashed or something. He comes back in now. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to have killed him. Looks like he'll be able to stabilize. Agares will go down. His ulti not finding enough, and that should be the round. A shaky start, but it seems like Gorillas have found their answer.
Close, though. I mean, one thing I want to point out there is they went for a different approach. Gorillas Alados went around the sides and then collapsed. They didn't go straight through that one left side choke point. A couple of them went up top, a couple of them went to the left, and then they collapsed onto Feyman and forced a split. and also held back a little bit, which pulled Consativo further into the center. Like, it was a slight set of differences in the way they approached it, but that gave Gorillas what they needed to get the focus on Feyman, rather than get focused themselves.
And that's always been what they wanted, just a burst onto Feyman, shut down the healing and damage Pestilus can provide early, and then pick apart the relatively low HP and low survivability DPS characters.
And it worked brilliantly. So we'll see if they can do that again. I'm sure that Consativo realizes they can't get too close to the inner walls without risking a split unless all of them go in. Because it's those inner walls that gave Gorillas Helados the advantage they needed. And it looks like, indeed, Consativo is trying to remain in the center as much as they can, but they're still getting split. Feyman's still behind the northwest wall.
So separated from his teammates. He needs to group back up, and that Infest will do that, but he spends his escape now, so the burst comes through. Queen will protect him from a rocket. Shield comes through as well. He's barely alive, and indeed not for much longer. Agorist will have an ultimate. That could be a huge Gribor. It catches Megatruck. Simas should fall as well. Agorist barely can't take it through, though. But the amazing snap, he silences Megatruck. Megatruck still comes through, though, with the flamethrower. Will pick up the first, and it looks like the second kill. That was close. Simas yet again incredibly low after the opening engagement, but he managed to stabilize.
Feyman got cornered. That was a big part of it. Dudiches is doing a great job putting pressure on Simas, but Feyman got cornered. And while it is possible for Pestilus to go through walls with their Infest, they still got cornered. Like, they were still not in a position where they could use it, clearly.
I don't think it's Feyman's fault, though.
No, it was just more...
He played it well. His problem was just he had no backup, and I think their comp might be a limiting factor in that.
Maybe. Dudiches is trying to stay in the backlines for sure. I'm not sure if that's composition-based, but it's certainly the playstyle. However, at this point, we are seeing split again, and Gorillas Helados trying to do the same thing as round 2. Collapse from all sides, and they're succeeding. Feyman does have Dudiches on backup, as with Agores, providing actually quite a bit of support, and maybe holding this off, but unfortunately center control has been lost.
Agorist is blowing my mind with his snaps on that Chaos Grip right now, but they played this well in terms of just staying alive through the initial focus on Pestilus, and if they can convert the damage they've done into a kill, this is worth it. The problem is, though, Feyman's been separated again, and he will go down early again, and this time, Agorist and Dudiches aren't even close enough to force down a kill on somebody who was rendered low in that opening engagement. They will have the Grimoire, but it won't find anything.
Now, unfortunately, the camouflage was spent before the Grimoire could be, so there's no way to force someone to be inside the ultimate explosion. I thought they had it, too. I mean, until we saw that shift over into the southwest corner from Feyman. I mean, Agorist and Dudiches are doing a great job providing support and a great job keeping space. Like, they were making sure Feyman was safe, and then Feyman got too far away for them to actually help.
This is one step of a long journey.
Yeah, just that. And I do question kind of that push into the bottom left-hand corner, like you said, because there's a deep pocket there, and the pockets on both Blackstones are terrifying places to be.
Yay. Not here against the wall, for sure.
It looked like Agorist and Dudiches kind of had the situation under control. Sure, Feyman was low, but it seemed like it was pretty good, all things considered.
I mean, unless Feyman was trying to get center control somehow through the southwest, but that's not worth the risk. And Feyman already way behind. Dudiches coming in to help out. Agorist pretty much again going for Simas. That seems to be their main target, is try to get Simas as much as they can. That seems to be their undoing as well.
No HP on Feyman. He's been in the Infest. That'll be gone, though, and he'll melt immediately after. And yet again, Dudiches, they don't have the damage or low HP target that they can instantly engage on. Well, that'll cost them.
I think the way to go for them is either to go aggressive center or aggressive northwest. Like, avoid the pocket, but even that's kind of risky because that involves the northwest wall, which killed them already.
I think it really comes down to providing a better defense. And their big problem with that is that they don't have characters who are very good at forcing disengage.
No, Agorist is the only one who has Arcane Barrier or anything like that. I mean, Feyman has Queen, and their Queen is providing panic. But that's Feyman trying to protect themselves. That's not Dudiches and Agorist helping.
They're doing a better job of it, though. Feyman staying on the mount, just kind of riding around. However, here it is. The damage has been done. They've connected on all fronts, and so far so good. Feyman's managed to stay alive, and Nagaris is dishing out a fair amount of damage, though. He's going to be incapped against the wall, and this is the problem. One slip, and you're just obliterated. No HP remains on Feyman, and there's the Tiger Slash. The Infest will give them a little ride along. Maybe if they get the orb, this is possible for them, as they do regain a little bit of permanent HP. Simas knocked down fairly low as well, but Feyman again against the wall, and this time there's no Infest to save them.
Yeah, I'm really feeling like Pestilus is not a great choice here. Like, I'm seeing the compositional problems, because I can see an Esmo Croak plus, I don't know, Sirius. I can see that working. Like, someone who's able to either stay forward with the rest of the team or just hold their own. But, yeah, Pestilus I don't really see. Or maybe Lucy, because Lucy has more means of crowd control.
You fought with honor.
But for Pestilus, it's like, unless you're getting perfect hits on those arachnophobias, or brain bugging just as if your life depends on it, there's not a whole lot of Pest can do to easily defend themselves when they have that much focus.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same problem as Blossom, right? On paper,
Yep.
Blossom has plenty of options to hold off a rush, but in a 3 situation, you need
Too many things can
heal
matter.
as well as your own defensive abilities, because there's not enough things any one character can have to stop a rush. You need to have shields on you, you need to have a presence around you that makes it so that it's not worth targeting you. The best way to stop a rush onto one character is to present them with a target that they either must shift to or should shift to. And they didn't present that.
No, it came a bit close with Agares, but I don't expect that we're going to see a Croak do that too much, because Croak's entire purpose is to not be focused in order for them to get around the back and then stun someone and make their lives miserable.
So, 2 disengaged focused characters, Esmo and Croak. Well, they're not very good at engaging, it turns out. And they can't protect a Pestilus from a 3-man rushdown. That will be the first semi-final of the night over, and pretty dominant victory at that. It doesn't appear we have a result from the second semi-final just yet. So we may get to watch it. Don't honestly know. We'll find out in a few moments, so don't go anywhere. We might be back with the final, or we might be back with the second semi-final. It's like a box of surprise jelly beans. You don't know when you'll come out next. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are in the finals of tonight's King of the Arena number 30. My name, of course, is still TJ, joined still by Shadow, with, of course, Drop Bar running the production. It will be Gorillas Dados versus Tana Disney, both competing for their shot as the kings of the arena.
And Tana Disney, kind of my favorite to win, although Gorillas Dados did win last week, if I'm not mistaken. This is going to be a close match.
These two teams have shown time and time again that they are amongst the top teams in the South American scene. I'm not the slightest bit surprised they are the finalists, and I'm always excited to continue to see the development in a region such as South America.
One thing I'm noticing, both teams have Rygons. We don't see that in any other region. Rygon is occupying the position Shifu occupies in North America and Europe.
Well, he's a character that isn't being used, but I don't think he's not usable. I think he just occupies a very different role and a slightly different meta. He can be the focus, he can be the dive character. And Shifu can do that as well, but he can't do that so visibly, if that makes sense. He needs to back off to reset cooldowns, teleport around.
One other thing I'm noticing is Lux has been going for the Heavenly Strike into the Slicing Winds charge, which is not a right we see a lot of Rygons take. Normally they go for the parry stun.
Well, Tex has been under focus at the start of this. Watch his HP as he frantically tries to back off here. He goes down! That was a nice stun combo. Very well done. Simas caught as well. This team will come through to save them from the Tiger Slash, and that means there probably won't be a return frag, even though Rebels is going for the orb. Shaman is going to be caught in the middle of that Astral Beam, and that drops him so low.
Oh, this is a repeat of what we just saw, except last time we saw it, it was Gorillas Dados doing all that pressure. And now Lux is just outdoing it at their own game.
The rushdown meta has reached all regions, Shadow.
But it's different here. That's the weird thing. It's the Rygon rushdown meta, which in a way is scarier. I mean, Rygon has self-healing. It has self-healing. They don't die.
Well,
they don't have burst damage, but
to be fair, with Tempest Rush, that type of thing happens in NA as well. So
true, but that costs meter. Like when you have a right that just gives you Slicing Winds and Retribution already heals you, it's different.
No, I won't disagree. This is definitely a new experience.
Well, it's an interesting experience. I'm curious if this can translate over, but I feel like it's just a matter of Brazil getting more comfortable with Shifu that's going to change things up, because they are playing the same game as everyone else.
Well, there's low HP on Ripples and Gast as they're called out in an early patch fight. I'll be interested to see if they can recover from this. The answer so far is yes. Low HP on Simas, and Tex, by contrast, has done an excellent job kiting. Look at that HP run out on Simas, and he's just spent his counter and got nothing for it.
Oh, this is really good for Gorillas Dados. They've got center control, they have full HP, and Lux is basically dead.
Lux will fall, Sands of Time ticking through to confirm that kill, and Gus Shaman's moments away from a Tempest Rush, and he's just seen an escape. Simas should die in this engagement.
You know what I really liked about this round? It was a lot of it for Gorillas Dados is disengage. That was the key thing.
You see a lot of games where people don't disengage, particularly in the current NA meta. This team is running a hard engage, melee rush down composition, and they won that round because they knew how to not engage.
Well, especially once they got their opponents outside of the center. That was the big thing. I mean, that center control with full HP that they had, that was brilliant. And then the entire time, Tana Disney stuck in the top left corner of the map.
Yeah, and that's such a crucial thing, center control, because it's tons of HP, tons of EX if you're getting all those shards as well as the orb. And there wasn't even a way for them to contest it. Lux tried, but when he tried 1v2 and just got melted as a result, and that gave them more of an advantage.
Yeah, he died for trying. Another thing that's subtler, though, when it comes to center control is space, especially Blackstone Day. The walls split up teams so easily that if you're in the center, you have the advantage of bringing all your firepower to bear all the time.
Lux will consider going for more. Here's the dive in. The damage he likes though, and Gus Shaman gets chunked down as well. It's maybe of a trade, but there's dwindling HP here on Lux. He needs to stabilize quick. It seems like he's found it, and he's not disengaging at all. Instead, they're just going ham, trying to punish Tex.
Well, they are going ham, and Tex is getting split more than anything. Gus Shaman doing what they can to get back, but Ripples was crowd controlled away. Tex has a hard time getting in, and Gus Shaman has pretty much had to fight the front line this entire time to their own detriment.
Megatruck just dominated a 1v1 against Gus. That was all Megatruck all the way, and won the round quite handily. As a result, Tex is going to be burned down by Megatruck as well. The flamethrower business is roaring.
Wow, that's been everything Megatruck's been doing has been flamethrower, and I'm very happy about that. Like, we see machine gun from time to time, but I think flamethrower is the way to go for Iva in most cases, especially when you're dealing with characters with counters.
It's just so effective, and you can see especially when focusing on Rygon, there's this temptation to go, I'm just going to sit in the flamethrower because the recast on my parry will get us stunned. Madeline rocked it.
Nope. That's
But
50
it just
damage for
takes
12.
so long, yeah, you die in that time.
It made sense when Rygon was first out and the right was a actual recast right. But now that it's a when the right runs out, then it goes off. Well, no, you're sitting there for the entirety of flamethrower. That's not worth it. Just cancel and get out of there.
We saw the effects of that. Gus Shaman, his HP vanished. And I don't expect that to change now as he tries to challenge Lux and Simmons. He doesn't find anything there. He's just going to have to back off. Look at the effect of that weakened double in-cap as well. Lux and Gus in-capping each other. That was quite nice.
That was clever. I mean, I've never seen that before, but it makes sense the way Tectonic Shock works. And an self-incap, thanks to that Chrono Flux. This could be what they needed, but no. Tana is not able to get the orb get stolen from them by Shimas.
Time travel comes through, but Simeas will quite easily avoid the damage. And there's the Astral Beam. Gus Shaman melting inside the Tiger Slash as well. Lux and Simas find massive damage between the two of them.
And Megatruck not even getting cornered. They went for the double jetpack rights. Not super popular in current meta, but in Brazil, and at least for Megatruck, that's been their way of going through this, and it means they don't get caught out. Ever.
Push again, Astral Beam again, Machine Gun coupling with it, 2 ults again, and the damage that does is insane, and the split up it causes is worse. No HP on Tex, they're running for their life, and they've got no way of surviving. Gus Shaman and Ripples are now left in a disastrous 1v3.
Oh, those ultimates. Again, there's one and not two. But those ultimates have been defining the match. I'm almost impressed by the way that Town Disney has not died as quickly as they have. Like, they've taken 5 ultimates to the face. They lost, but still.
The reason for that is because Gorillas are not chasing these kills. And we talked about that 2 rounds ago. It's the same thing. They're getting the damage, and they know we did permanent damage there. Now let's hold center control, not take any risks, and they'll finish the round with a massive HP differential and a massive lead.
It's a winning strategy. But I'm curious if Tana Disney's going to approach that this time, because they've been getting split up a bit more than they would. Well, they never really get split up, but they have been getting split up. Mostly Tex has been getting split up, and now it looks like more attempts are being made to protect Tex.
Trying their hardest, but Tex is just backing off. Sure, he's not taking damage, but this time Gust is down. Only 2 bars of HP remain. Central ults come up, so just like clockwork, Gorillas will fall back, try and secure it, but it's going to be Ripples with a clever little
steal.
shatter to pull it up. So now, there's an opportunity. Time travel comes through. Gorillas could suffer here. Simmons will get caught out by the time travel. The stun, though, doesn't convert to much damage. Tex still under fire. Lux doesn't take much from Gus Shaman's ultimate. This becomes a problem.
Oh, Tex managing to get out of there. If Gus Shaman can get out of there, it could be something. But no, Tex is going to fall thanks to that nice focus.
Lux has ulti as well, and he doesn't get anything from it, but it won't matter. Gus Shaman falls, and Tomas with no HP, it looks like he'll survive. Rebels
They've stabilized.
in a 1v3, what can he really do?
Not much. Unfortunately, they lost their ultimate. If they had their ultimate available, or if they managed to deal all the damage with it, they would have had a chance. Because Shimas was so close to death, they might have been able to take them out, or take out Lux. One of the two. But unfortunately, they didn't get that chance.
Lux with a little bit of cruelty at the end of that round.
I'm a little surprised Shimas didn't drop down a Lunar Strike just to say, nope, you're not coming back.
I mean, there's cruelty and then there's Satan. How far do you want to go?
Well, I've done that trick with Sirius before. So,
it's just wrong.
yes, it is. I'm an evil person. Thank you very much. I'm well aware I'm going to hell when I die.
Oh, right. Well, on that exciting note, Megatron finds some damage onto Gust. Watch out for his HP, because it's going to take a double hit here. Tex, though, is there with the healing. You can see it's just Chip. It's not getting converted into anything else, and it's a brilliant orb steal as well.
Oh, and Shimas getting focused in the middle of everybody. That is a clever bait. Tex has taken a fair amount of damage, but nowhere near as much as Shimas, so the trade has been worth it as long as Gorillas can get away with this.
I don't see why they wouldn't. The only possible turn is Tex, and there's a machine gun actually. Maybe there's the answer. The pressure's still there. He's in oil. Time Bender will be spent to keep him alive. And it looks like Tex will survive. There's Astral Beam, but it won't get much the whole time. He's inside that Tiger Slash. He'll go down as a result. That's a miscalculation and a half.
They seem to be expecting that the healing from the Astral Beam would get them through. Which, I mean, it makes sense. They were very close to having it get them get through, and that was a lot of damage on the table. But it wasn't
diving in to try and save his teammate from that second Tiger Slash, but it won't be enough, and that may very well be the game. We will have one last chance ultimate. But it doesn't look like it'll find much.
I don't know.
No, maybe
close.
no turnaround on Megatruck. If
really
Lux
close.
manages this, he does. That's all. Megatruck might go to hang on. Every time I think it's over, Megatruck takes a beating. Lux gets caught out all alone with no HP, but he lands the end cap on the Tremors. Oh, but Gust almost intercepts it for the orb.
No.
Gust, if he gets these greens, and he does, he might have been able to turn it around, but Lux intercepts him mid-Dragon Palm and wins the fight. That was...
Megatruck should have died!
But everyone should have died in that final fight.
Yes! At least twice! But, I mean, if Megatruck had been targeted for like 1 extra second, that would have gone totally differently. Sheesh, that was close. I mean, that series was starting to get a little lopsided, but that last match made up for it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Just the last 2v2 of what it could have been. Ah, well. Well,
Yeah,
that will be all for tonight, unfortunately. That wasn't what it was. Pretty dominant games across the board tonight as, well, I think it's without a doubt true the Guerrilla Statos showed off why they're at the top of the scene right now.
Oh, certainly a good demonstration of Iva and Raigon.
Yeah, Tana Disney, a very good team in their own right, but they just looked outmatched there, and it's hard to do that. So, we're going to go ahead and close the broadcast for today. If you didn't join, please do consider following the channel. We do most of the Brazilian tournaments whenever we can, and we're always looking for more small Battle Royale tournaments to broadcast. My name has been TJ. If you'd like to find me, you can find me on Twitter at esportstj alongside my co-caster who's at ShadowFury333, basically everywhere on the internet. Of course, the broadcast has been run by the beautiful Drop Bear. He's handsome, sexy, and he's a magnificent beard. He's at Corrupt Drop Bear on Twitter. I think it's the evening for most parts of the world, or well after midnight, I think, in the European region. So, wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a great rest of your night. And we'll see you guys next time.